Welcome back to the LZ, folks. We're talking E3, and I've got my guests, Crystal Red Punks, of course, co-host of the channel, and of course, John from the Super Deforms Gamecast, still with us, talking E3 speculation, hopes, dreams, etc. Check the description down below for linkage. And, of course, Syrian Gaming is still joining us. We're, the three of us, going to be at E3 for a good old goddamn guy. I'm so covered in uncertainty. I can't wait. I'm so nervous with excitement. I can't wait to see what happens here. But talking Nintendo now. And, boy, am I eating some crow about the Nintendo Switch. Because if you look back a couple of episodes ago, I went in pretty hard on the Nintendo Switch. Originally, I thought it was reasonable because, I don't know, I guess I'm cynical about Nintendo and the way they do things, the way they treat content creators, the way they sort of, on a long term, keep their products overpriced. Whereas, you know, a game that's out for 2 or 3 years, you'd think would be 10, 20, 30 bucks is still 40, 50, 60 bucks. So they're very against the grain for me, and I criticize them a lot, but surprisingly, we might have another Wii on our hands. Last few years, Nintendo has been a little untraditional, right? They're not running traditional conferences like they used to at E3. They have a great presence on the show floor, which I anticipate seeing. I'm told by folks at NeoGAF and such that... don't even try to go to the Nintendo booth, though, because you're going to see a lot of grown-ass men at Nintendo booths, so it's going to be almost impossible to get into.
Okay.
I can vouch for the fact that we were at SDGC, we were at PAX East this year, and I didn't get to, I mean, it was, you want to talk about people crowding the booth, there was no breaking that fucking wall.
I was going to say this.
I was actually at PAX South. PAX South was fucking insane.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
PAX South, 3-hour wait, and you couldn't even get in the line. Like, the lines were blocked off because there were too many people. Like,
There
even
were far
an
more than people
hour.
there playing ARMS than like Mass Effect.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's weird how that works out. So
Which ARMS, by the way, phenomenal.
I've also heard that.
I didn't
Phenomenal.
expect that.
And again, I'm
I
eating
didn't
more crow.
I didn't play this weekend.
I saw you tweet about that because, again, eating crow, my assumptions... I also had assumptions about something like Splatoon, for instance, and I thought it was cool, but my daughter loves it. And you just assume that something like that just looks completely foolishly stupid. And then you see your Twitter feed just filled with praise and praise. And you're like, what fucking dimension am I in right now? I don't understand what's happening here. So ARMS is already a big deal. That was just a demo that came out, wasn't it?
It's, well, yeah, kind of like a... It's called a global test fire.
Like a beta test type of deal?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. So Nintendo has some great momentum. I'm curious about this, and I have played Switch before. I do not own one, full disclaimer. But Crystal Red Punks and John from the Super Deforms Gamecast, they both have one, and I'm interested to see their insight. I'm interested to hear their insight about, one, their console, but then what their outlook is for E3 for Nintendo. And because we know they're going to have a Direct already. There's not going to be a traditional show like what they used to have back in the day. But what are we looking forward to with Nintendo?
Metroid.
Thank you!
I think?
Has there been any word on Metroid yet or no?
So here's the deal. Retro Studios, everybody's like, oh, Retro. Somebody asked Retro Studios, hey, what are you working on right now? And they said, well, it's delicious. And they tweeted a picture of the fucking print.
I saw that, yeah.
I mean, that combined with all the rumors, I mean, and then you have Reggie, who he brought it up in an interview with GameSpot. You know, they asked him about Mother 3, which is something I would also like to very much see.
Yeah, absolutely. I love Earthbound.
And I love Earthbound. I'm a huge Earthbound fan.
Mm-hmm.
And he said next you want to, he says, go ahead and ask me about Metroid next. And he laughed. And when the guy says, well, okay, what about Metroid? And Reggie says, look, I'll tell you what. He says, we are aware that Nintendo fans are waiting for the next true installment of some of their most beloved franchises. And all I can say to you is, talk to me a year from now and see where we're at.
Stop playing with my dick, Reggie. God!
To me, the writing is on the wall. I think Metroid Prime. I think Metroid Prime 4 gets announced.
You know,
If this is the
oh my
case, then
God.
yeah, I might actually get a Switch.
The
Thank
idea
you.
of playing Metroid on the Switch anywhere you could go. Fuck.
I want to play fucking everything on my Switch.
Oh yeah.
This I've
Everything.
also heard, and I'm kind of looking forward to my plane ride and not having one. Getting to LA
By the
because
way,
it's like
the Switch
It's
Pro
pretty
controller.
boring.
The Switch Pro controller better than the DualShock 4 and the Xbox One controller.
no way.
That's tough to believe.
It is the best controller out there.
Come on now.
That's what I think.
I've held one, and I've not held the Pro controller. I've held just the Switch unit and the Joy Cons and
No, not the Joy-Cons. I mean, the Joy-Con. I mean, I love playing. I play in handheld and dock mode, and I love playing in handheld. But taking the Joy-Cons out, using that, no fuck. That's garbage.
my hands are hurting just thinking about it because it's
No,
so
they're-
cumbersome to me.
Yeah, but I think Metroid Prime 4 will be there. I mean, Reggie practically fucking confirmed that it was going to be
Come
there.
on, Reggie.
Um,
Put it
I don't
all
know if
over
you
my
guys saw this.
face.
Did you guys see the news about the Pokemon Direct tomorrow?
I
heard
hadn't.
about
I'm not
it.
typically a
Something.
Pokemon follower, but my daughter is
That
for
is
sure.
that is obviously Pokemon Stars.
Yeah.
And you want to talk about fucking selling Nintendo Switches? That would be the first console Pokemon game,
Oh, you're right.
the first one. And then you got.
Hold on. Let's not forget Pokemon Snap. All right.
I was about to say that.
Oh,
And it was Pokemon Stadium too.
Yeah.
awkward. You're a Pokemon Snap fan, are you, Cedric? I think
well-
we just made an episode altogether on its own. Tell me more about this Pokemon Snap. I need entertainment.
I also obviously Super Mario Odyssey. is
Now,
gonna be
for
there.
that one, I'm interested in that one because
I fucking love Mario.
I of course, I am. Mario Galaxy didn't really like those games for some reason. But then 3D World didn't really like that either because it just those games sort of lacked the wonder that Mario 64 or yes, even Mario Sunshine had to me. So they didn't feel the same. I don't feel like I was able to appreciate them as much. I didn't hate them, but definitely something I couldn't connect with. So Odyssey seems like it's kind of returned back to that sort of classic. I say classic in a loose term, like like Mario 64, which is undoubtedly a classic and one of the best Mario games ever made, arguably. So I'm excited to see what they're doing with that, and that almost has me wanting to buy a system right there, because you can't deny Mario.
I have strong feelings against Mario.
Do you?
Well, not
Yeah.
not against. I shouldn't say that, but
Not against Mario, just against Italians in general. It's just-
Oh, you
no.
got something against Italians, do you?
I feel like Nintendo banks way too much on Mario, and it's just kind of soured it for me.
It
almost.
works for them though.
It does. It's just for me. It's like,
Mario seems to have a game in every genre.
The
Sports,
thing with Nintendo
platforming.
is like I think Mario always works out, and like they made that deal with Platinum Games, so like Bayonetta 2 came out on the
I was
the
going to say,
Wii U
please don't
and-
say Other M. Please don't. I don't want to vomit.
the Vanquish sequels coming out for
Oh.
that would kill you. But like I don't feel like Bayonetta belongs on a Nintendo console. Me personally. I feel like
Exclusively.
Exclusively, sorry. But
I
well,
think
not
that
in-
hurt the franchise, if anything.
It did.
Didn't
I was looking
for-
didn't they
surprise.
rumor a new Bayonetta for E3 or coming soon?
Yeah, Platinum's working on something. It's probably fucking Bayonetta 3.
Probably.
The real tragedy to me is that Beyond Good and Evil 2 won't be there. And of course, when Vivendi takes over, that'll fucking cancel it.
Oh no, that's an episode all itself. The
But,
looming spaceship that's Vivendi.
I
Poor
also think
Ubisoft.
that I mean, obviously, I am very interested in Mario versus Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
I want to see what that looks like because
I mean,
I
it's
think
an RPG. It's a turn-based RPG.
is that what it is?
Yep.
Oh man.
yeah.
I am very critical of the Mario RPGs because for some reason they have attempted to not reignite the flame that was Super Mario RPG from way back in the day.
I like Paper Mario.
It's a goddamn classic.
Yeah, me too.
It's weird that they didn't try to emulate that again, especially now knowing that something like Kingdom Hearts is super popular and SquareSoft has great cooperation with other developers. But I'm interested because I have the Rabbids are kind of a guilty pleasure of mine, just a dumb, entertaining pleasure of mine. So having that cross Mario in that universe, that's just odd but alluring. So I'm kind of interested in how they handle that. What's leaked so far was dumb, but the good dumb that you would expect to have a good dumb time with.
Yeah. No, I mean it looks. I'm not gonna. I am reserving judgment until I actually see the game.
That's fair.
I think Sony, or not Sony, Jesus. I think Nintendo Nintendo can just knock this out of the fucking park, or it can completely flop on its face. The choice is really theirs. And of course, very often we know Nintendo is going to be Nintendo, and something's going to fuck up, something's going to get messed up. But
that is their custom.
I just, if this lineup is true, if Metroid is really going to be there, and we all know, Super Mario Odyssey is going to be fantastic. I really see Nintendo just completely hitting a home run. I think it is well within the realm of possibility for them to just knock this thing out of the fucking park.
That would be
a successful console. Yeah, a successful console launch would followed by some really good titles coming out at E3. So it's going to be great for them.
Well, the launch window looked a little dry to begin with, and
it wasn't
so
it?
It was.
I mean, I love Zelda, but when I already own a couple of consoles, it's just like kind of hard to justify the idea of spending another, what is it, $350 for the Switch?
Hey man, two of the things I guarantee you will be there. By the way, if I don't say them now, I'm gonna fucking forget them.
Yeah.
Smash Brothers will be there.
Are we talking a port from the Wii U?
That's
or
what I didn't want to interrupt, but yeah, that's what I want to ask.
Legit.
I have heard Smash Brothers Deluxe.
Okay.
Which is going to have new characters and new stages, and you know what? It makes sense because we've got a fucking Cloud amiibo coming out.
Right.
There's no other reason for a Cloud amiibo to come out.
Yeah. Seems kind of random.
It's just that would not make any sense unless there was a Smash game coming, and it makes they're gonna make a fucking Smash Brothers game. That's a no-brainer. It would not surprise me if there was a new Smash Brothers in development, but you know what? Super Smash Brothers Deluxe, fuck it, I'll take it. I'm fine with that. Smash Brothers was, the one for 3DS and Wii U were fucking awesome.
Love Smash, yeah.
And the other one that was going to be there was Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Okay,
that'll be there, and that will release this year. I guarantee it.
Interested. Okay.
Apparently the game is done, and they're just working on orchestral composition now. And so it's a done deal. The game's going to come out in December. Nice.
So I think, and that's the weird part, is that maybe I'm just easy to please as a Nintendo fan when you just massage my Metroid. That's all you got to do. Like you give me a Metroid and I will buy a goddamn console specifically on Metroid. If you would have led with the Metroid, and now back to Metroid for a second, like what? They already committed the sin of giving Metroid to Team Ninja, and Other M wasn't very well received. Are we really going to do another Metroid Prime without Retro? Because didn't they recruit the composer for the Deus Ex games?
Yeah, well, and here's the other thing. I forgot to mention that. Yes, they did recruit the Deus Ex composer, and his favorite games are the Metroid games. So I don't mean to be speculative. There's too much smoke for this not to be a fire, in my opinion, and I think it's time. When you combine that, they're hiring. Imagine a Metroid Prime 4 that sounds like a Deus Ex game.
Oh, don't do this to me.
Yo.
Don't do this to me.
So Yeah, that combined with pictures of prime rib and Reggie's comments. I mean, to me it's clear.
Just give it to me. That's all.
It's time.
And
It's
So
time.
Legacy.
Yeah.
Are we getting Switches?
Are we gonna get Switches?
I don't know.
You know what? You
First you have to find
show.
one.
I tell you what. You show me a new Metroid game, and show me. I have never played Mother 3, which is I think a crime that I've committed to myself in the industry. Is because I would say Earthbound is probably one of my favorite games of all time. So I'd like to see. Wasn't it localized at some point? I missed the bus because I didn't get it. I didn't care about the Wii U enough to buy it. But I hear Mother 3 is fantastic. So there's that. But they're probably not going to mess with Star Fox for a while. Because that poor franchise has seen just complete abuse since Star Fox 64. So they might just say,
I want some older Nintendo property, like not just Metroid, like F-Zero and
it's
Punch-Out.
been a while for F-Zero.
Well, when I first saw ARMS, and ARMS is fantastic. I played it. It's going to be great. It's going to sell a bajillion copies. But when I first saw ARMS, I was like, why wasn't this just Punch-Out?
Oh man,
Interesting.
But having said that, ARMS is really good. It's actually surprising with how good it is. But I wouldn't mind seeing Pikmin, Animal Crossing. Give me some motherfucking Animal Crossing.
Give me that fucking Animal Crossing.
Like Phoenix Wright.
oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
The possibilities are just. It's Nintendo. We can sit here and we talk all day about. Sony has the best exclusives. No, man, Microsoft got the best exclusives. Well, I'm sorry, but Nintendo has the best exclusive games, period. And I don't think anybody can argue.
That's hard to argue for sure because they're so classic. And yeah, you're right. You got me mad now because F-Zero, hasn't it been 2 consoles? Well, yeah, 2 consoles since a legitimate F-Zero. What was GameCube was the last one we got any kind of F-Zero love, right?
Yep.
That's horrible. Wow. Interesting that it's taken that long. But yeah, that would probably move because I love F-Zero, so I don't know what's got them waiting, but it just seems like a long time, and that would be probably another way to move a console for me too, because F-Zero GX was fantastic. It's not very common to see a game move at 60 frames per second on a Nintendo 64, so it was kind of nice. But at the same time, what are going to be showstoppers for Nintendo to continue their momentum for E3 to keep people eating crow? Because right now I have a nice helping of it. Metroid, I think, is undoubtable.
Metroid.
You drop a Metroid and your hardcore is probably covered for the show for Nintendo, I would say.
Metroid games traditionally don't sell quite like Mario games do.
Yeah.
But I think people are hungry enough now to where this is, again, the time is right.
I would really love a new Donkey Kong Country.
I would love. I would love. I never played Tropical Freeze. I would love. I would love more Wii U ports simply because, the Wii U sold like crap, but it had a massive attach rate, which means there are millions of people who now have the opportunity to play games like Tropical Freeze and other the Wonderful 101. Games that are fantastic but did not reach a large audience, and I think that's going to happen. I think that's a good thing.
The Nintendo faithfuls did come through and I always criticize the Nintendo faithfuls on this one, that the folks that say that Nintendo only needs to survive on their third party or their first party, they don't need third party. I think Wii U proves that to be untrue, if you ask me. But they did. They came to bat for their Wii U, man, and they bought the shit out of Nintendo properties, even though it wasn't good enough, I think, in the grand scheme of things. It's hard to hold that against them.
Yeah.
So, and then I think that's another problem that we have, too, that we really didn't cover is third-party support. Is it there? Because now that we see this this bubbling of sales numbers for the Switch that's coming back, and there's a lot of talk of it being the next Wii, the next big thing. Is that going to bring the third parties back more than just, say, indies? Or, like, is Ubisoft going to come back and push their games and their shovelware and stuff like that they did for the Wii U back in the day? Or are we still doomed to just first-party titles?
I think you're going to see the third party come back, but I mean, but you're still not going to get like a Call of Duty on there.
That's interesting.
But they do have one thing coming to them that's massive.
Skyrim. Yeah, that's happening, isn't it?
Yeah, game that we've been playing for 6 years.
Yeah, I feel the same way, but it's going to be massive for the Switch.
It's the equivalent of saying, like, yeah, we're bringing out Resident Evil 4 for the Switch. Oh, great.
Foosrope.
Hey, people will buy it.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, I think Nintendo, I'm even though I'm eating crow on this, I am happy to hear that Nintendo is doing wonderfully with their new console, and I look forward to buying one eventually. But God damn it, Reggie, stop playing with my dick and give me Samus already. This is unfortunate, and I think it's a crime for a Nintendo console to ever go through a life cycle without getting a Metroid game. Nintendo 64 did this, and it's weird because Super Metroid is one of the... I keep talking about Metroid, but I'm so goddamn passionate about this because how do you come off of a game like Super Metroid, which is, I would argue, probably the best game ever made, top 10 list, etc., make a console and not make a Metroid game for it? I think they were working with one and they canceled it for the 64. GameCube happens. Metroid Prime, we get 3 of those. Well, that was crossed the GameCube and the Wii. Wii U happens. Nothing. Wait, hang on. I forgot about Other M. Gleefully. Sorry, I forgot about Other M, but that was kind of intentional, but I figure it was fair to bring it up. But I'm interested to see what Nintendo does, and that conference, we're going to be streaming live, hopefully, if our internet's good enough, with live reactions for that show. So give me the Metroid. I think I'm good. But if you want to... Wasn't Star Tropics rumored too? Like, people keep talking about Star Tropics for some reason.
I had never heard about a Star Tropics. That would surprise me. I love Star Tropics, but fucking nobody else knows what that is.
That's very niche. Yeah, definitely. So here's to Nintendo, and here's for a great show. I'm willing to be impressed. I have eaten my crow, and I'm open to whatever thoughts they might have, but let's see.
Believe it or not, I'm watching E3. I never thought I'd get in so easily. Watching G4 in my beat-up chair. What will I see? Believe it or not, it's E3. The biggest bad...